Hello and welcome everyone to our weekly crypto journey session. Thank you for tuning in this week. We are hosting this talk every Thursday during your lunch hours, so you can join our crypto talk while you're having your lunch break. First, let me introduce myself to the newcomers. I'm Merlinda, I'm one of the two members here at Dasset. I will be moderating this crypto journey talk each week, and we will be doing a presentation for our chosen topic for the week, followed by a hands-on demo, so you can get better navigate around the crypto world. And before I introduce our speaker for today, I wanted to let you know, please at any time of the session, do drop a comment or a question, and we'll try to get to this by the end of the session in the Q&A. For today's session, we have our very own Dasset CEO, Stephen McCaskill. And without giving too much away for this week's topic, we will be going in depth about hardware wallets and what's there and what's open right now and what's working. And now let me hand this over to you, Stephen.
Thanks so much, Merlinda, and glad to see everyone here. I'm really excited to go over this presentation. And today we're going to get hands-on with hardware wallets. And to do that, you actually need a hardware wallet. So I got two, and my screen's kind of blocking them, but I have a Trezor hardware wallet and a Ledger hardware wallet that we're going to open today and dive into. Really, the only other thing that you need when setting up your hardware wallet is a pen. This is really, really, really important step, and we'll go into that. So I am CEO of Dasset. Dasset is New Zealand's leading trading platform for digital assets. You'll find over 80 different crypto assets on our trading platform, with more on the way. In addition, pretty exciting feature that we're releasing over the next week, and that's an auto buy feature. So for people who are interested in things like dollar cost averaging, you can essentially set and forget a weekly buy order. So we're really excited about getting that out the door in the next few weeks. And so what is a hardware wallet? So hardware wallet is a device. So it's an electronic device that uses, that has essentially hardware that is isolated to the device. And so it's everything that comes with that device is necessary to secure a private key. And so the hardware that's built into our hardware wallet is usually open source, but not all the time. And they essentially have a few key components to make the device secure. One is a screen, so that it can read off things like a public address or a transaction. Another one is has some data storage, so it can actually store your seed or your private key. And usually that comes with a device that encrypts it, so that if somebody essentially physically takes your hardware wallet, it's not very easy for them to access the private key immediately. And so, oops. There's some good things and there's some bad things with the hardware wallet. The most important thing is it gives protection against software viruses. And this is really important because a lot of people have viruses on their computers that they might not even be aware of. A lot of them might be waiting for the right time to essentially steal something like your encrypted private key or your private key. And so if you have a virus on your phone, on your laptop, and you store your private key on your phone or your laptop, then you download a virus, you give your computer to somebody and they accidentally download a virus onto your computer, you download a file, all of a sudden you can have your private keys compromised. And so it's protects you against some things, but it doesn't protect you against everything. So it does not protect you against physical theft. If somebody walks into your house and takes your hardware wallet, then you need to take immediate action to remove the coins from that hardware wallet. It does not protect you against things like fire or a flood in your house. And so if you have a hardware wallet at home and there's a flood, then you hopefully will have a backup. And that's what we're going to go through today. The other things to keep in mind: terrible user experience. User experience continues to be terrible. So if you're not aware, I had a previous business, all things decentral, and this business was the #1 seller for hardware wallets worldwide. And we were selling, I don't know, maybe 10 to 20,000 hardware wallets a month in 2017. And the one thing that hasn't changed since then is the poor user experience. It's just as bad in 2017 as it is today. You must also trust the company that's producing the hardware wallet. And so that is where you have to trust the companies that are making them and the employees that are producing them to make sure that they're not tampering with the hardware to potentially take your cryptocurrency at a later date. And so so there were a couple of things that were advised to me before I started Crypto Journeys. The one is to never do a live demo because it's risky, things might break, and things might not always go according to plan. But we decided to go against that, and that's why we've been doing live demos the whole time. And so we're going to start from scratch. Things may break. We're going to see what happens. But the other thing that was advised to me is that we cannot give recommendations about things like software or hardware wallets. It's not necessarily financial advice, but the problem is that if we recommend a specific hardware or software wallet that the end user implements or that customer implements incorrectly and loses, has data corruption, loses the private key, something like that, we can't really be held liable for that. So we can't really recommend any specific software or hardware wallets, but we can tell you the ones that we use. And so the ones that we use personally, I'm happy to go into. And so there are lots of hardware wallets out there, but the ones that we tend to use the most are Ledger and Trezor. So this is a Trezor. You can see that it's sealed, has the sealed casing, and it's in this plastic wrap. Same thing with the Ledger. It's in this sealed casing and plastic wrap. And so what we're going to do is open them up and get them set up. So something to keep in mind when you start opening them is making sure that they're fully sealed. These might be a little bit older, but usually they have these like security stickers on them. And what you're doing is making sure that they're coming from the company that actually produced them, because there are fakes out there. So there are fake ledgers and there are fake Trezors that people, if you go to a conference, they might give it away for free because they want you to put your cryptocurrency on it so that they can steal it. So you want to make sure that you're buying them from authorized dealers or directly from the source initially. Now, Ledger is a French company that's does their manufacturing out of China, and they had to grow exponentially in 2017. So they thought they were going to issue 30,000 of these globally in 2017, but they ended up selling over 1 million. And so they've been selling millions of these each year now. And they are great for ease of use, and they have the widest number of tokens that sit on their hardware wallet. However, they use external parties like Shopify to make their sales. And a Shopify employee hacked their customer database and leaked it or sold it. And so if you bought a ledger from the company prior to, I believe, 2020 or 2019, then your information, like your address, your name, your phone number, your email, have been compromised. And so a lot of people are unhappy about this because they're getting threats. They're getting threats by email, they're getting threats in the mail for crypto. Basically, if you don't give us this crypto, we will expose pictures of you or something. Most of it's BS, but keep in mind that Ledger had a security issue that leaked all their customer data, which is very concerning. It's like, when JP Morgan leaked all their customer data. And so Trezor, as another company, has been around a little bit longer than Ledger, but they are a little bit more technical, and they do most of their development and production in-house. They're out of the Czech Republic, and they are, I lean more towards the Trezor than the Ledger when I use these hardware wallets, but I really think it comes down to personal preference more than anything else. What are you comfortable with? And there are others out there. There are a lot newer ones. That there might be some more with bells and whistles. So definitely do your due diligence when you look at what hardware wallets are out there. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with the Ledger. We're going to open this guy up. So opening up the plastic. Again, you want to make sure they're completely closed and sealed before opening. If they've been tampered with, it's better to contact Ledger support than. So I have my wallet. I'm going to do, comes with the cables. So I'm using a Mac today, and so what I'm going to do is I also have a dongle to connect. It comes with the actual hardware wallet, and it comes with some stuff like paper. So this paper is really important because I need to use my pen with it to write down the seed. Okay, so on this paper, it gives me the website to go to get my Ledger set up. So I'm just going to change screens here. And okay. Okay, so now you should see my whole screen. And what you'll see here is a website that we're going to go to. It's ledgerwallet.com/genuine. Now, when you go to, sure, help if I spell it correctly. You want to make sure that you go to the correct website. And the reason why is the reason why is they're fake websites that that are set up to try and steer you away. So you want to make sure. Okay, so the link on this is no longer valid, and so that shows you. I guess this is a little bit older. So we're just going to go to ledgerwallet.com. And what we're going to want to do is essentially download Ledger Live. So Ledger Live is the app that lets you connect with your hardware wallet. So we're going to download it, hopefully. Here we go. Okay, So, and while I'm doing that, I'm just going to take these things off the. Okay, so now. Okay, so hopefully now I can go to Ledger Live now that it's installed on my computer. Okay, so this is the app that will interface with the hardware wallet. So I'm plugging in my Ledger now. Go to get started. I'm going to agree to their terms. I have a Nano S. And so I'm going to start from scratch, set up a new Nano S. I should say that I should have said this at the beginning, but this is really for first time users who've never used a hardware wallet. If you're a power user for hardware wallets, then you might not get the most out of this session. But basically what I'm going to do here is plug in my hardware wallet. And so what you'll see now is where it becomes a challenge, because essentially what you have to do is play a lot with these buttons. And this is where it becomes not user-friendly. To begin, you have to press both buttons at the same time. So if you see there are a couple buttons, so I'm going to press both to begin. I'm going to hit next here. I have to set up a pin. So this is where I have to enter a pin code on the device. Oops. Configure a new device, choose pin. Okay, so I'm going to, so right now I essentially have to go through numbers between 0 and 9 to choose a pin that I must enter in to secure my ledger. So that's what I've just did. I've just entered in a pin, and now they're asking me to confirm the pin. So this is the pin number doesn't really matter. It's kind of like your ATM pin where you can change it in the future. It doesn't really matter what your pin number is. That's just used to unlock this one device. But now, after I've set up the pin, what it's asking me to do is write down 12 or maybe 24 words. Now, these 24 words are essentially the password or the access to my cryptocurrency. So this is a step you don't want to miss. You have to grab a pen, use the pieces of paper that they gave you, and write down the 24 words that are given. And it's really critical that this step is done, because this piece of paper that has your seed phrase is your backup. And so if this device breaks, which I've had a number of them break on me, you have to have this backup. You don't have this backup, your cryptocurrency is gone forever. So it's really important that that you do that. And so what I'm going to do is go through this very quickly. I'm just going to write down the words here. And so essentially what I'm doing is writing down 24 words that are on the device. So this is a really, really important step. So essentially, it's giving me a word and then asking me to select to go to the next word. And I'm writing down each one. And this is my mnemonic seed. So this is my password to my crypto. This, if I lose this, I lose my crypto. It doesn't really matter what happens to the hardware wallet as long as I have these 12 words. That's the important thing to remember. And these 12 words, or actually 24 words in this case, they are selected from a specific dictionary. And so everyone has that same dictionary with the same spellings and the same number of words. I think it's something like 20,000 words that are used. And there's so many of them that it's almost impossible for you to guess somebody else's. Okay, so I've just written down record time, 24 words. So here, I've done this. Okay. Okay, so now the challenge, here's the part that's not so fun. And I essentially have to, now that I've written them all down, I need to verify them all. So, so basically, what Ledger is doing is showing me all the words that I just wrote down, and I have to confirm them as so that I can essentially get to the next step. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just confirming the 24 words that that I wrote down. Essentially, this is a backup, or verifying my backup. Now, something that I mentioned earlier is that this does not protect you from things like fires or flooding or an act of God. And so this is where you have a hardware wallet that has the access to your cryptocurrency, and you have this piece of paper with your seed. I'm not happy to share it. Do not share this with anyone. So what I just did is a big no-no, but I'm just showing you for the demo. But basically, now I have my cryptocurrency stored in two places, on this piece of paper and on this hardware wallet. And essentially, what I want to be able to do is put the piece of paper with the backup somewhere else. So not in my house, preferably something like a vault, you know, with a trusted family member, a you know, a third party, a lawyer. You can split it between multiple people. There are many different options that you can take when securing your crypto. But one thing you should definitely not do is put it all at your house in one place. You know, you should definitely have backups and backups. Sorry, I'm just going through confirming each word so I can finish getting set up here. So as you can see, it's a bit cumbersome because I'm essentially using this, using this, just two buttons on this ledger to enter in every word. And so it's not the most intuitive. I'm almost done. I'm on word 14, 15. And then the other thing is, hopefully I got it right. Because if I didn't get it right, then I essentially have to do it all over again. Yep. So almost there. I'm on word 18. There we go. So after I get this set up, then I can deposit cryptocurrency to the wallet. The only thing is that a lot of these devices usually have to get an update. And so that's something else that I wanted to show you. Okay, got set up, hopefully. Okay, device is now ready. So now Ledger has this new thing. Oh, we can go through this quiz. This is new. As a Ledger user, my crypto is stored. What do you guys think? My guess is on the blockchain. If my recovery phrase is no longer secure or private, no problem, Ledger can send me a copy. No, that is definitely not the case. My crypto is no longer safe and I need to transfer them to a secure place. Remember that. Okay, last question. Hopefully I pass. When I connect my Nano to the Ledger app, my private key still offline, briefly connected to the internet. So in theory, it's still offline. It's still, their private key is held on this device. And so it never leaves this device, never goes onto your computer. And so now, now there's also, I guess, a check to make sure it's genuine. So connect to unlock your device. So I just did that. It's asking me to add permission. So it's a lot of clicking on these buttons, as you can see. So I am in. Now, here's the tricky thing. With a Ledger, the options for assets are limited. So let me take a step back. You can add lots and lots of different assets. However, the number of wallets that you can add on the app are limited. So you can only, so you can add all these different cryptocurrencies with their own networks, their own blockchains. The only problem is that you can only add something like 2 or 3. And the reason why is there's limited space on here. So the one that makes sense to add is Ethereum, because if you add Ethereum, you can also add any ERC20 tokens. That includes any tokens that are on Phantom, on Polygon, or on Binance Smart Chain. So that means with Ethereum added and with Bitcoin added, you can essentially add hundreds or thousands of different tokens that are sitting on Ethereum's blockchain. I just did that, but actually what I wanted to do is update this firmware. So this is a really important step. And so this is essentially updating the management of the hardware. So anything that interacts directly with the hardware on your device is essentially this firmware. And what we're going to be doing here is upgrading, because it might improve or add a security update, remove a security vulnerability, or add more functionality. So this is really important to do this step. And so this is what I'm going to do now is just update the firmware on here. And then what we're going to do is transfer some crypto. All right, so I'm entering in my PIN number again. So one thing that you want to make sure of, because there is a really nasty virus going around that is essentially replaces things that you copy and paste with. And so if you copy a public address and you paste it into a send, so that you're sending crypto to somebody, then it replaces the address that you want to send the crypto to with somebody else's address, with the hacker's address. And so that means that you think you're sending the crypto to somewhere that is meant to go, and it ends up being a completely different location. And that having a hardware wallet does not protect you from that. But making sure that you validate the address on the hardware wallet before you send the funds is really important. And that's why there's a screen on every hardware wallet. So that screen will give you the address that you're sending the crypto to. So you can confirm it there. So if your computer or your phone is compromised, it doesn't matter, because you can verify that the address that you're sending the crypto to is correct on the actual hardware wallet. So right now it's updating. While it's updating, I'm just going to get some crypto set up to send to the hardware wallet. Do we have any questions, Belinda?
Yes, we do. One of the questions here is, someone tried a longer cable under Trezor, but it wouldn't work. Can you recommend one that will work and they're using an iMac as well? They're using a Mac as well.
Yeah, so it's probably, if I had to guess, it's the it might be the dongle or the component, the essentially an extension. So if you're using a USB, if it's USB-C, something like that, then it may be the dongle. I have found that they can be a bit finicky in terms of some of the cords that do or don't work. They tend to be like the ones that come with them should definitely work. If they don't, then there's some technical issue. The ones that you find at something like PB Tech should work in theory. I'm not entirely sure why it wouldn't, other than maybe it's that connection if it's using USB-C. So if you're, have this kind of connection, it might be something like that.
Yeah, there's some cost-effective one in PB Tech, definitely, as well. Then another question as well, like, what happens if you forgot your PIN?
Yeah, so if you forgot your PIN, then you will no longer be able to access the cryptocurrency on your hardware wallet. And that's why you have written down your seed on this backup, because that's, you need to recover it from this.
True. And like one last question as well. What happens if there are new cryptos? Do we need to have a separate hardware wallet for them or a new one?
Great question. So so when a new blockchain comes out, or a new technology, because there's still, we're still very early days, it takes a while for a hardware wallet to support it, because the engineers at the hardware wallet engineers essentially have to build new software, and they essentially have to not only build new software, they have to go through a lot of testing, make sure everything is secure before they before it works. And so if it's a new blockchain, you might have to wait up to a year for a hardware wallet to actually support it. Ledger tends to support them faster than Trezor, but I think they also kind of rush the process. They're trying to make it usable for everyone, and so there have been issues in the past with Ledger attempting to do this. Or Trezor, you kind of know that might take a little bit longer, but at least, and this is also might be personal preference, it just has a feeling of more peace of mind. And so you can use the same hardware wallet for multiple crypto. So it's entirely up to you. If you want to have one hardware wallet for Bitcoin and one for Ethereum, you can do that. If you're going down to ERC20s, then you might want to have one wallet for Ethereum and all the ERC20s. Really depends what your purpose is. Hardware wallets, yes. So if you might want to use them to gift somebody down the road, then you just have one coin on it. But if you are a power user, you might have I didn't show this. I have a slide which I'm happy to share with you guys, but basically the numbers that the dollar values, and again, this isn't something that we recommend. This is just our best practice. And so your phone wallet is something like your wallet that you will carry around. So you might put 50 or $100 in there, kind of like cash or spending money. And then your desktop wallet, you might have a few $1,000 on there as play money. On your hardware wallet, anything that's serious money that you don't want to lose, you want to put on, start with putting it on your hardware wallet. So you put anywhere from a few $1,000 up to maybe $50,000 or $100,000. After that, you want to look at cold storage, custodial solutions, insurance, that kind of stuff. But if you are wanting to use your crypto every day, if you want to use your crypto every day on the same computer that you're doing other things on, anything else, even if it's work related, you want to use a hardware wallet. What else?
Oh, and what's the difference between an account and a wallet on Trezor?
So I guess what you mean by that. I've seen a lot of people start talking about accounts. So, and when they talk about accounts, what they're referring to is your public address. And so when you create when you set up your hardware wallet for the first time, you are creating your seed, okay? And this seed, this 24 words, generates your private keys. And those private keys are what derive your public addresses. Those are the addresses you give to people to receive crypto. And people have started to use the word account to associate with a public address. If that makes sense.
Oh, so essentially it's a public address.
Yeah. And so what we'll do is, I haven't installed Metamask on this device. Oops. So we're going to find Metamask. Make sure that you're going to the actual website. This one, I don't know if that's legitimate. And so, there are fake websites. This one, metamask.io, is a legitimate website. So again, you want to make sure that you're getting it directly from the people who are providing support for these apps. So now we have MetaMask installed. We have Ledger installed. And let's see, what are we going to do here? So what I'm going to do is add. So it's asking me to connect. So I'm pressing a bunch of confirmation buttons. Basically requires me to press 2 buttons at the same time. And so this one's so old, it's actually requiring another firmware update, but I'm going to skip that for now and just get into setting this up. So what I'm going to do, MetaMask, I'm going to also create a wallet here. Not going to send my data. Setting up a test account. This is also, so basically this seed phrase that I have here, which I'm not going to share with you, best practice, never share it with anyone. So essentially what I've created is 2 wallets now. I've created a wallet with my hardware wallet, which I will be able to use in just a minute. And I created another wallet with my MetaMask. Now, so this address that I can receive crypto to is my account, or what they're calling these days an account. And so what I'm going to do, rather than use the MetaMask wallet, because that means the seed is saved on this device, and I don't want to use the crypto mnemonic seed on my computer because my computer is at threat of having a virus on it. And so although there's a seed through Metamask, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to connect my hardware wallet instead. Right now, the other thing that I've noticed is that if you're trying to do this with other applications connected to the hardware wallet, things break. And so, so I think because this is connected to Ledger Live and MetaMask, it's not connecting. So what we're going to do here is finish. So what this is doing is saying add account. So it's very similar to this. It's essentially giving me a public address to receive crypto to. So, so right here in my software wallet, I have this account that was auto-generated. On my hardware wallet, I need to add the account. Now, I can add as many accounts as I want, and they're stored on the private key. They're stored on the seed, or they're derived from the seed, the 24 words that I wrote down. So this is where it's essentially generating that public address for me to receive. And while that's going on, I'm going to log into my Dasset account. This is a test account that we use. Okay. So I'm in this test account. We have some crypto here. We have some ETH. I think we're going to send some ETH to okay, so now I've created an account. That account is accessible from my seed. And so now I'm going to try and figure out how to send receive. So I'm going to go to accounts, going to click here, I'm going to select receive, going to continue. And so this is where I need to validate the address. So I see the address there on my screen. So this is the address I can share with other people. And I need to look at the device to verify that it's the same address. It is the same address. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to withdraw. And I'm going to withdraw to that address. And then I think I need device. Oops, I'm withdrawing. I'm not drawing enough. So it says I need to essentially buy more. So we'll do actually what we'll do is I wanted to show you guys, but I guess we do have algo, but there are few assets on our platform that people have asked about that we do not trade against New Zealand dollars. And part of it is making sure that there's enough liquidity. So I thought algo was one of them, but there are a couple that some customers have asked about. I know this is a little bit of a tangent, but this comes up quite a bit. So one of them is Luna. So a lot of customers have been asking about Luna. And Luna is one of the assets that you can see doesn't trade against New Zealand dollars, but we do have on our platform. So I'm going to buy some more Ethereum. Oops. So okay, I'm going to buy 20 ETH. Something like $50 worth. Okay, I just placed a market order. Normally I do it on the easy buy sell, but thought I'd show you there's actually an easy option on the exchange page. And now we're going to attempt the withdrawal this time. Okay. So now we have to enter in the MFA. And now I've just sent, oops, sorry. Oh, sorry, I need to actually check my email. I don't actually have, so this I guess is where I'm unable to send it because I don't have immediate access to my email to withdraw the funds. So maybe what I'll do is show you how to enable MFA. So, this is something you don't want to necessarily do on screen because now everyone has access to my MFA. But this is just a test account, so I'm happy to go through this process. All right, well, it doesn't want to scan, so I think I might skip this part for now. Sorry, guys. I'll just see if I can. Here we go.
Sorry, while you're on topic with 2FAs, we always try to encourage our customers to actually enable 2FA, not just on their Dasset account, but on even like their emails or even their social media accounts. It just adds an extra layer of protection so it's less likely for you to be hacked. So if you haven't just yet, please enable the 2FA in your Dasset account.
Cool. Okay, so now I have enabled it. So I'm going to withdraw it. And yeah. Okay, so now while that is happening, we're going to go through the Trezor. So Trezor is pretty much the same thing. What you're going to want to do is go directly to the website, trezor.io, and you want to download their app called Trezor Suite. Oops. And so there's definitely an app for Trezor, so there's an app for both. And the tricky thing is that some cryptocurrencies do not use the native software that from provided by Ledger or Trezor. And a good example of that is Cardano. So Cardano allows you to store your crypto on your hardware wallet without using the Trezor software. Now this one is definitely sealed because I'm having a lot of trouble opening it. What we'll do is go back here. And while I'm trying to open this, I'll go back and look at the device. So I unplugged the Ledger. Aha, I've already received it from my Dasset account. So now I have some money on here. I'm going to exit out of Ledger Live and try and reconnect Ledger with Metamask. So I know that Trezor works a little bit better with Metamask than Trezor. Or sorry, Trezor works a little bit better than Ledger with MetaMask. And I think that's just temporary. So, it really comes down to the software and the operating system you're using. I think Windows might be a little bit better for MetaMask and Trezor. But as you can see here, I've just tried connecting my Trezor or my Ledger a couple of times to the MetaMask wallet, and it doesn't work. The other thing, it might be my browser. So could be that the Brave browser isn't very supportive. it says that it's looking for my ledger. My ledger's logged in. I've entered in the code and everything, and it's just not picking it up. So as you can see, it's not working as intuitively as you'd like with the Metamask wallet, which is a web-based wallet that allows you to interact with websites. So while that's happening, rats, yes, it's not connecting. But you saw me set up the hardware wallet. Trezor is very much the same way. It comes with basically the same things. But the most important piece to remember is writing down your seed with your pen and paper. And so once you have written that down, I have this and I have this. Both these things give me access to my crypto. So it's ideal to put them in different locations. You know, if this one disappears, then your crypto is only on your hardware wallet. And if the hardware wallet goes faulty, then your crypto is gone forever. If you lose your hardware wallet, then you have to rely on this. Just make sure, you know, that you have it written down, you have it backed up. Questions?
Yes. Can private keys be physically extracted from these hardware wallets?
Yes, great question. And yes, they can. And that is why they do not protect you from theft. So if your hardware wallet is stolen, given enough time, they can extract the private key by breaking the encryption on the hardware. But you need to be, first of all, you need to know what a hardware wallet is. Compared to 4 years ago, I think, you know, the popularity of crypto, a lot more people know what they are today than 4 years ago. But then once you know what they are, you need to have experience with hardware and encryption and being able to reverse engineer the hardware essentially to extract the private key. So unless they already know what they're doing and they're already set up, it could take them days, weeks, months, years to get to it. If they know what they're doing and they're already set up, then it could take 40 minutes. And so that's why if it goes missing, you want to move your coins. So that's the important piece is if it goes missing, you want to move your coins.
Your funds right away. How many public keys correspond to one private key?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if there's a limit. I mean, I know you can have hundreds, but essentially, so the private key is a way to derive your private keys, and so you can use the same seed to derive different private keys on different blockchains for your use. And as far as I've seen, so on Ethereum, you can have public addresses or accounts. Each account has its own private key. Those private keys are derived from the seed, and I've seen hundreds, if not thousands, tied to one. And so, yeah, a lot.
Perfect. And I think that's all the questions we have for you today. Thank you so much for everyone that has joined us for today's session. We appreciate you tuning in and hope you learned a little bit more about hardware wallets and how to be secure when using one. Also, if you're interested in any other topics for us to cover in one of these sessions, please let us know. Drop us a message, contact our support team at support@dassetx.com, and we'll make sure that we cover it in the following weeks. And before we sign off, I'd like to remind everyone that our Crypto Journey event will be held every Thursday, same time, 12:30, and we hope to see you. And any last words, Stephen?
Nope. I always wish I could give more information and spend more time. I know there's so much to absorb, and it's really important for to get that hands-on. There's so many mistakes that you can see in crypto that have been made in the past, And you can overcome those mistakes by talking to other people about them, especially for new entrepreneurs, developers. I've seen the same things happen over and over again. And the best thing to do is to engage and learn and be more hands-on, break things, if you will, and that will really help um, you navigate this space and improve your own knowledge of what's happening. So yeah, if you have any topics you want to hear about, please let us know. We're thinking about bringing on guest speakers to speak about different topics around things. I know tax and accounting around crypto is really popular, so we may bring somebody on to talk about that. We may bring on somebody to talk a little bit more about compliance and regulation of crypto in New Zealand, and then also look at projects that are trading on Dasset. So we'll bring in people who are developing or managing those projects, and then you can talk to them to have an understanding of what exactly they're doing, what's their token used for, all that good stuff. And then a big one that a number of people have asked for is actually a Dasset demo. And that we'll be doing pretty soon as well. So please stay tuned, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one.